everyone, this is Lori from the Crafting Auntie. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome all my new subscribers and those that have been with me for a while. Today we are still continuing in the collaboration with Pam at Nana's Crafting Cottage. So today we're going to make a junk mail envelope pocket with a tag. And I'm going to go back to an Airline theme. I really enjoyed doing that. I've got a couple digitals here. Unfortunately, this shop is no longer on Etsy. I wish I could link it for you, but it's no longer available. So I'm going to match up a couple of these. I think these two down here, because they're about the same size. So on the front and the back. And I have my junk mail envelope, which I'm going to shorten a little bit. I'm going to have it open on the side here. But I also want to do something inside here so when the tag comes out, there is something there. And I have some scraps of some digital maps. I honestly don't remember where these came from, but I thought I want to start using a bunch of my digital scraps that I have on hand. So I thought this would go together perfect. So I want to cover this. I want to create the tag, and I want to have a tab, and I also want something dangling from it. So yeah, we're going to have some fun doing this. I also have some coffee dyed paper. And I also am going to put that on the back along with some cardstock here. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I want to do is to go ahead and cut my pieces out here, and then we'll get them glued onto some of this craft cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and get those cut out. All right, they're all cut out. So I want to go ahead and ink these. I'm using Scorched Timber Distress ink. It's hard to see it on here because I keep my my pouncer on top of it, but it's the Scorched Timber. I like the darker color on this particular one. So I'll ink around all the edges here, and then I want to also add some coffee dye paper to the craft cardstock just to give it a little bit more of a vintage look as we glue these down. So I'm planning on gluing one to the front of these digitals, one to the back. So when you pull it out, it will be two-sided. Okay. All right. So those are inked. So I have this piece of coffee dyed paper. I get these from my sister, Pam at Nana's Crafting Cottage. I'm not a huge fan of coffee dyeing, but she loves doing it. So I say, sister, I'm out, and she makes me some more. So bless her heart for doing that. Okay, let's go ahead and cut some of this so that I can get it more into size of what I'm looking for. So I'll take my paper trimmer here. And let's just see what size we are looking at. So this is about 3.5. I think I'm going to go ahead and go, 3.25. So I think I'm going to go 3.5. And then let's see, this way, open this up, we are talking about 7 and 8. I think I'm going to go also 7.5, and then we can adjust it from there. So we'll do 3.5 by 7.5. So let's do that. Three and a half, Lori. One more. Trying to be precise here for you guys. Okay, and then we'll do 7.5, and then we'll adjust it from there. I think I want to round the corners too. Okay, so I've got that. So let me just set this aside. And let's see how we look. Yeah, I think that's good. And then on this side. Yep, I think that looks good. So let's cover this now with some coffee dye paper. I'm just going to glue it on, cut it off, glue it on, cut it off on both sides. That makes it easier for me. Don't have to do a lot of measuring that way. Using art glitter glue as usual. Okay. Move my envelope out of the way here. And I'm just going to line this up as best I can. Get it covered. And glue that down. And I'm just going to turn it over and cut it. And then I'll do it again on the back side. This makes it easy, especially if you don't want to measure a lot, then this is the easy way to do it. Okay, and I want to make sure my holes are not going to show up on this. I think I can just make it. Add the glue again. This will give it a little bit more interest also on the edges that will be peeking through instead of just straight craft color cardstock. So let me just carefully put this on. Just lining it up again. And if you're doing this at any time, just take your time. Press that on really good. And then we'll turn it over and again I'll cut off the excess. Now we have a grungy looking background. The holes just kind of might have snuck in there a tiny bit, but not enough to worry about it. We can always grunge it up so you can't even tell. Okay, so we have that. Let's move some of these pieces aside. And I think I want it to go this way. So when it goes in like this, and then on this side, the same way? I think so. Okay. I want to round the corners. So let me get my corner rounder. And I'm going to use large setting. I'm going to do all four corners. You don't have to round the corners if you don't want to. It's entirely up to you what you like. All right, and now I'm going to go ahead and ink all around the edge. Again, using the scorched timber. Then after I glue the pieces on, I'm going to stitch around it as well. I think that just adds something, an additional texture, which is always nice to add. So we'll do that as well. Both sides. Oh, looks like we missed a little bit here when it was punching. Just cut around that a little bit. There we go. Probably because it was still kind of wet. Good thing about art glitter glue is that it does dry quickly, which is nice. Okay, now let's go ahead and put our pieces on. This one to go this way. So put that on here, add the glue. And then press it in place. See, I want it to go this way. And then just line it up so it's even. Do the best you can. So I've got that. And I'm just going to flip it over this way, and we're going to put this on so it will end up being the same, going the same way. Hopefully. That's the plan anyway. Okay. And again, we're just going to line it up, give it a nice border as even as you can all the way around. All right. So now we've got our airline on this side, and on this side, whatever it says, it's in another language, but it's probably pertaining to the airline ticket. That's what we're going to go with anyway. Okay, so now I want to stitch around this, but before I do that, let's work on the envelope itself. So the envelope, I want it to be the size for this to go into and have enough room, and it'll peek through the window, just like this. So let's see, let me take my pencil, and I want it to be able to have a little bit of wiggle room. So I think what we're going to do is cut it off right about down here. So I made a little mark down there. It's like about an inch or so. Let's see, let me get my paper trimmer again. Gotta have the paper trimmer. I want it to be straight, at least. Okay. Cut that off. So that's about an inch. Depending on what size your envelope is and what size your window is, all of these measurements wouldn't mean anything if when your window envelope is completely different. Okay, so now that this is open like this, I want to put a piece of this map on the inside. So let's see. I think this would work great. So let's just do that. Not going to overthink this at all. Just cut this. Trying to cut it as straight as possible. And we're not going to probably see it, but I am going to ink the edges anyway, because you'll probably see the edges when the tag comes out. So we're going to do that. So this can go in here, just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. And it's only going to be seen when the ticket tag is taken out. But I want to have something fun to see when that comes out. That's why I want to cover this. And I want to make sure it's straight. It's pretty good. All right. Now I've got a little edge here, so I'm just going to kind of clean that up. Let me use my paper trimmer once again, and let me just clean this side edge up. I'm just going to take off a little bit, just to straighten it out and clean it up. That way I've got a nice edge here. Okay, now we can do some collaging. And so I want to go ahead and use pieces of this scrap map that I have. So let's get some pieces together. Let me pull out some of these. So let's see, we've got some of this. So I think I'm just going to add pieces on, and I'm going to trim it off. So I'm just going to follow what I normally do. Now I think I want to ink on this side, and then I will ink the rest after I cut it off and trim it. So let's put this piece down here. I also want to stitch on the envelope. So I want to get this covered, and then we'll do all the stitching at one time. Make sure this is the right side up. I think so. Okay. You know, there's something shiny on this end. I think I'm just going to cut right across this. Straight line and get that off. Now let me ink that edge again. There we go. Is this right side up? Yeah, I guess it is. Okay. I'm just going to move it up a little bit so that it ends up kind of, will be squaring off the rounded envelope. Okay, so we've got that. Let's add a piece here. So I'm just going to ink this side up. And add this. Ink a little bit more down here and here. Okay. I'm just going to move it over a little bit. This will end up squaring off the envelope, and I'm totally fine with that. Add the glue. And add my piece. Straight. Make sure it's straight. Okay. Let's see. Let's do more of this, I think. Let's see. Right side up. I'm going to trim off this. And let's do a piece here. If you want to measure, please feel free to do so. I have just found this to be easier for me. Whenever you find all kinds of neat ideas in this crafting community of ways to do things simpler, easier, or you find things yourself, it's always nice to have other ways of doing projects. Okay, I think that's straight. Glue this down. All right, it's going to look completely different when we go to trim off. And then let's just put this piece right here. That will take care of our top. Just like that. All right, so it looks all funny looking right now, but we're going to trim it down. Just put my glue pin in, close up my ink for now, and then let's go ahead and trim this off. So the easiest way to do is just turn it over and cut around the whole thing. Just be careful you don't hit the envelope. But actually, I'm going to be doing a little bit of stitching. So even if you did and you're going to stitch, you can actually fix that. If you're not going to stitch, then just be careful as you're cutting around this. And just make sure you get it as close as you can to the edge of the envelope without cutting into the envelope. Now it's going to look completely different. Now it looks like this. Pretty cool. Okay, so let's ink real quick, and then I'm going to go and stitch. So let's just ink all around this. You can add other decoration on this if you want to. Add some labels or all kinds of things on this thing, but I think the map on this just really works well. So let me just kind of clean up some of my area here, and I'm going to go ahead and do some stitching. All right, I have stitched. It's kind of hard to see, but it is in a cream color I've done a zigzag all the way around the tag. So you can probably see it a little bit better here. Now on the envelope, one thing I did, because I wanted to stitch around this center part here, and I wanted to stitch across the top here, no, across this edge, that's what I mean, this edge. I opened this edge up so I could completely lay flat my envelope. So that's something to consider if you're going to be stitching. So if you lay it completely out flat, I stitched around the center here. I also stitched this edge, but it still opens up here. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew that, what I did. Now this should fit right inside here like that. That looks cool. So do I want it that way? I think I want it to come. Maybe let's try it this way and see how that looks. Oh, either way it looks good. Okay, so we've got this done. We've got this done. But I want to make a few additions to this. I think I'm going to do it this way. So I want to add a tab. So I've cut a tab out of the map. I thought that would look pretty cool. I want to put that here. And then I also want to add an eyelet. And I have this little suitcase charm. And I have a bulb pin. So I want to add those. But I also want to add a tag. So I've cut a strip that is 2 inches. And I have my tag punch here. So I'm going to use the 2-inch. And I'm going to go ahead and slide this in all the way. Punch it. Oh, we didn't get a very good top there. Let's make sure. Try that again. I might turn it upside down, make sure it's getting in there all the way. There we go. I think something was in the way from the last time I used it. Is that in? I think so. Make sure it's lined up. Okay, try that again. There we go. Now we have a better tag. And then I'm just going to cut it off. So let's see. Let me clean up some of this stuff here. And let me use my large scissors that I have here. And let's just cut this. I think I'm just going to cut it right about here. I don't want it to be too long, but I do want something hanging out. Okay. That doesn't look very straight. Let's get the paper trimmer out. I like my cuts to be straight. Oh, it's not too bad, but let's make sure it's straight. There we go. Okay, so now let's go ahead and I want to do a little bit of stamping on this. So let me ink this up and the tab up. I'm going to do both sides. So I'm going to stamp on both sides so that no matter which way it is, you'll be able to see it. Just go around that. And crease this. And then let's go around this. Okay. I'm going to use Fallen Leaves for ink. And I want to do a little bit of stamping on this. So I've got a few stamp sets out. Not sure how much of them I'm going to use, but I want to use, this is one I got off of Amazon. I don't know the name of it, but I thought I would use this one, which says 2408 36 London Immigration Officer. So I want to get at least part of this on here. I may not get the barcode on here, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and stamp that on both sides. So we'll do that here. And on the other side. let's see, I have a stamp over here that says Customs, and this is from Creative Expressions. This is by Tailor Made Journals, and this is called Passport. So I think I want to use the custom stamp and maybe a signature. I'm not sure. Let's see. Let's grab the custom stamp here. Let's see if that's even going to fit. It'll be off a little bit, but I think it'll be okay. We'll try that. Turn it over. There we go. Let's try that right about here. Yeah, that works. And let's see, this way. So when it's dangling, you've got it right side up. Good thing I did it that way. I may not have gotten it right. Okay, and let's see. How about we just do journey completed? Oh, sorry. These are sticky, sticky, sticky. Okay. Right side up. And let's do that right here. And then turn it over. And we'll do it again right here. Okay. So now we have this. Both sides. Okay. So let's go ahead and we're going to add an eyelet. So I'll grab my box of eyelets that I have sitting over here. And I go with the dark one. So I already have a hole, which is nice. Use my crocodile, use my crocodile and set this. Let's see, I think I'm on the right setting. Whoops, let's try that again. Okay. All right, perfect. All right. Now, let's see. I want to add our tab on here, and then I also want to add an eyelet. So I think, how far is this going to dangle down? I think we're going to come up here a little bit. So add some glue to this. And let's put that right about here. Okay. And let's use another dark eyelet. I love these dark ones. I have to get some more eventually. Okay, we'll use the large setting. I'm going to come down here a little lower. So I have a hole right there. And then set our eyelet. Okay. All right. Now let's see. Is there anything else I wanted to do? I think we've got it inked. We've got it stitched. Let's just put this in here now. Okay, so I like the way that looks. Perfect. Let's just turn it over so you can see the other side. Very cool. Love these digitals. I'm so sorry that the shop is no longer there. I guess I snagged them at the right time. Oops, it's gotten caught on something. Oh, guess I better make sure that's down good. Okay, there we go. peek that out a little bit. Now, I want to put this charm on here with this bulb pin, but I also want to put this tag on here with some twine. I happen to have a small piece of twine I think will work. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Let's try it this way first and see if this works. Do that. Pull that through. Like that. And then I think I will make a loop with a knot. Let's see. Let's try that. Cinch that down. This twine's a little bit thick, but I think we'll be okay. Let me trim this. All right. Bulb pin. Charm. Oh, and this is a luggage. It says Paris, Roma, LA, New York. I think that's pretty cool. Put that on, and then I'm going to put it through this loop right here. And let's attach it to our tab. Oops. Get that out of the way. Pull this out a little bit so I can get in here and get this pinned like that. Very cool. Okay. I think I love it. I love it. Get the glare off of there. So we have our ticket, vintage airline looking paper. We have our junk mail envelope. Now you can glue this down onto a page. You can also make it a flip and then just cover the back. I'm not going to cover the back today because I really don't know what I'm going to do with this. So I want the options. And I don't want to cover it if I end up gluing it onto a page. But it'd make a nice flip coming out of your journal. It would make a great cover as well. You could put this on the front of your journal if you were doing a travel journal or something like that. So let's take another look at it. Try to get the glare off of it. So we've got all our map, got our customs and our immigration officers stamped off. We have our luggage charm, our tab, stitching. All right. Well, I hope you guys will give this a try. I've done something similar to this in a previous video. It seemed to be very popular, so I thought, well, I'll try this again, do a little bit different, and see how it goes. So this flips perfectly, so either side, you can read it. Okay, guys. You guys have a good rest of the day. God bless you all. I'll see you at the next video. Go check out Pam at Nana's Crafting Cottage tomorrow when her video comes out and see what she's up to. Okay, have a great day. Bye.